Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I'm going to pick two cards, whatever you feel drawn to. This is going to be a little bit of a mini reading, mini personal reading. This is a message from your soul. This tsunami of powerful change that's coming. In case you need a little bit more of personal type guidance from soul, one, two, or three. I'm going to start with three. So those who chose number three, ooh, it's card number 21. 1 plus 2 is 3. So that totally was awesome. All right. Card number 21. You'll likely be fortunate and win. It's card number 23. Luck is not chance, it's toil. Fortune's expensive smile is earned. You're just about ready to hit your mark. The sign of Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter and is a mutable fire sign. The ancient symbol for Sagittarius is a half man, half horse, known as a centaur, a creature trained in the art of archery who always manages to hit his mark no matter how far he roams. Whew! I'm telling you, just aim, right? Just aim. Don't scrunch your eye. You need both your eyes open when you aim. Where is it? When this card turns up in a reading, freedom at the current time is essential. You need to allow yourself to be free to be who you are and see things and feel things, experience things. Not everything in life can be avoided. Some things have to be experienced. And if it's something you have to experience, well, fucking enjoy it while you're doing it. You'll feel the need to fight against restrictions of any kind and want everything out in the open. You want to know where you stand. If your question pertains to a relationship, you or your partner need to be given extra space and looser reins. You may find yourself especially philosophical at the current time and even studying religions which may not have appealed to you before. Interestingly, Sagittarius is a sign representing large animals, especially horses and big dogs. You may soon be acquiring a new pet, or it may be that animals are already a big part of your life. Like those beautiful beasts, you love the sense of wildness and being in the open air. You may soon travel to areas with vast countrysides or regions with mountains and lakes that you want to explore. You might embrace a new philosophy, enroll in classes of higher learning, or begin to study churches or religions. You might embrace a new philosophy, enroll in classes of higher learning, or begin to study churches or religions. A visit to a casino or another area where gambling takes place could likely come about. You'll likely be fortunate and win in this venture as long as you don't proceed recklessly. It's a good time to take a gamble. Your future looks promising because you're ready to expand and grow beyond your limits. If you do encounter difficulties, you will surmount them easily and move forward to your next lucky break in life, which should be coming soon. So y'all about to just strike it rich. Strike it rich. Now we're doing one. Those who chose number one, you have card 52. Void of course, moon missing. The moon is a friend for the lonesome to talk to. All is not as it seems. The void of course moon card can be daunting. It may not be a good or appropriate time to answer your question. As it is now, the results may not be what you want. What is a void of course moon? The moon travels through an entire zodiac in 27 and a half days. There is a moment when the moon makes its last major aspect before leaving one sign and entering the next. It's as if the moon has gone to sleep. Her wisdom is being withheld until she moves into a new sign and the moon begins a new chapter or story. The usual axiom for starting things on a void of course moon is nothing will come of the matter. So, the things that you don't want to come to fruition, initiate that. Initiate that. Don't put all this effort into it, just initiate it because then it's going to fizzle and go the fuck away. Matters will not go as you planned. In fact, most of the time, it will end up far worse than you planned. You've been caught blissfully unaware. You've missed something or you weren't paying close enough attention, but you won't be able to set the situation right at the current time. This card says to sit still and stay as you are. So just focus, self healing, centering, taking accountability for everything that you've done, right? For everything that you have done. You have to. If you've made mistakes, if you've made missteps, if you have said or done something to someone you love, or even just someone that you have to work with or whatever, that is not a good, accurate representation of you, your integrity, your compassion, your kindness, you need to apologize. And no, you can't be like, well, I mean, I did start it, but Emmy, they did some fucked up shit too. I don't give a shit. Your soul don't give a shit. Fucking say sorry. Say sorry. Don't say, I'm sorry, but you know, you also did something. That's not an apology. I don't know why I'm riled up. Maybe don't apologize right now, but this is the process you need to enter into. Okay. This is a process that you need to enter into. This card says to sit still and stay as you are, just thinking, considering. How did you co create whatever happened that you don't like? How can you correct this? Right? Take no action at the current time. Wait for the storm to pass over. It is time to be patient and allow matters to settle before beginning anew. Don't try and rush it. It's going to backfire. Let it settle. Let it settle. Okay. Let it become a little bit quiet, a little bit more calm. Allow this matter to resolve on its own without your help, work, or interference. Don't bail anyone out or make loans currently because it's unlikely you'll be repaid. Medical results will probably not be accurate. If your question is about a job or a career move, then it's not the right one. If you apply for a job and get hired, it will not be long lasting. Take the job anyways. If you need the money, take the job anyways, as long as it resonates with you. But just, kind of be clear with yourself that this is not a long term job. This is just going to tide me over until the actual job becomes available. Okay. It's possible you get hired and then a more suitable job will come along and you'll have to leave the first one. You see what I'm saying? I love it. After a long and costly effort, your matter in question may fail. People around you may start behaving like screw ups. Uh huh. Second winners. Second winners. It could be that great passions are playing against you. Discipline is needed. It's not a time to act impulsively. Whatever you do as your routine will stay as it is. However, matters that are unplanned or spontaneous will tend to work out for you. A void of course moon can be used to your benefit, so keep this in mind when this card shows up. For instance, you can work on something you don't really want. You can interact with persons you don't really want to become a fixture in your life. Embarking on anything new or untried will tend to go wrong. In other words, when the void of course moon card presents itself in a spread, if you agree to plans you don't really want to come about, then will be very likely, then it will be very likely they will not come about. However, meditation and any type of psychic or spiritual efforts will work out better when the void of course moon card turns up. So this is really a time to go deep within yourself, like really just let soul bring to you the thoughts, the feelings, the memories that need to be brought forward so you can get a clear idea of how you co created whatever hardship you're struggling to process. Taking ownership will help in the processing. It's not about blame. Ownership, accountability is not about blame. It's about recognizing how powerful you are in the cultivation of your experiences. You have a lot of say in that. There are some things you have to experience, but the way you experience it is what you have the say in. You can experience it as a peaceful, life altering, beneficial thing, or you can view it as something super destructive and a punishment. You're still going to go through it. The second option is going to make it worse for you. It's going to make it much worse. But hey, sometimes when we do that, it'll definitely increase your capacity to learn. It will elevate the lessons and benefit you in the long run, but it's going to definitely be much harder. It's a good time to dream and even make plans, just don't act on them yet. Hold off. Do not plan a wedding if this card comes up. Keep in mind the time is not yet ripe. You want it ripe. If you chose number 2, your card is number 18, Virgo, I analyze. August 23rd through to September 22nd. Mhm. Do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight, right? Worry and organization are the key traits of the sign Virgo and of this card. Virgo is picky and exacting. They can be insanely organized. They are very helpful to others. They tend to be critical, but usually this criticism is applied to themselves. They are conscientious and highly intelligent. Virgo natives prefer to step back and analyze before moving ahead. Virgos are true worrywarts. Much of their worry focuses on health, possible disasters, and any sudden change which they dread. They would much prefer a return to simpler times. And I think what's happening right now is that you're being given the opportunity to return to a simpler time based on your selection of what option you're going to live through. Virgos shy away from chaos and detest disarray. It isn't unusual for Virgo natives to keep books and musical collections in alphabetical order. The everyday chaos of life causes them to fret, leaving them restless and nervous. So, are you restless and nervous? Maybe that is an indication that you need to begin organizing some of the things in your life, right? Like kind of maybe making a master list of what needs to be addressed first. If this card presents itself during a reading, look to concerns about health, lifestyle, and your job. If you're expecting things to go normally or as planned, that will not likely be the case. Watch out for critical people who seem to pick at all you do, or perhaps you're now the picky person. Your mind may be beleaguered by worries, some of them health related. Other worries may be the things that have gotten out of control. This card sometimes indicates hospital doors, meaning medical tests and visits to the doctor. Alternative health approaches and a better diet may appeal to you now. Oh, that's telling me that for those who chose number 2, you're probably entering into a massive ascension cycle and you need some support through that, dietary support. So for some of you, you're going to just naturally be led um, to a short fasting period, right? You're not going to be hungry. For others of you, you're going to be very hungry and you're going to want fresh things, fresh fruit, fresh veggies. You're going to kind of not really want meat or animal products. That's probably your soul letting you know your frequency needs to be raised. And you can very easily raise um, an unnaturally low frequency by going on a vegan diet for however long your body says to be on that. It's going to be something that varies from person to person. It really just depends, right? Oh, and then for others of you, you're already very high frequency and it's a little too high, and you need some grounding so that you can feel stabilized, less frantic, less anxious. And you're going to be drawn to eat ridiculous amounts of like meat, animal product, dairy, things like that, ice cream, probably even some junk food. Um, and usually what happens if you're eating junk food, that's usually your soul is trying to let you know your frequency is a little too high. You're becoming destabilized. It's hard for you to center and ground. So then it encourages you to go ahead and eat these foods that will crash your frequency. But because you're so high frequency already, it's not going to crash you too much. It's just going to kind of level you out a little bit. Okay. Dealing with health issues, the workings of your own body, as well as those of your family or friends may factor in, but you could be beleaguered by worries that border on hypochondria. So maybe don't Google so much. For some of us, like we see a symptom and then we start to Google and then we fuck ourselves over because now we're dying. don't, don't. If you're really concerned, then go schedule an appointment with your doctor They can do the appropriate medical diagnostic testing. And if it comes out as inconclusive or, all your levels are fine, just believe that. Because sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the symptoms you're experiencing are very much rooted in energy. You're being sensitized to energy. And so all of these different symptoms, you're like, oh my God, something's happening to me, but it's really just energy. It's always a good idea to get checked by the doctor so that you'll have, a very solid idea and don't have to worry, right? But yeah, you may feel you have every disease you read or learn about. Don't Google stuff too much. You may begin to have symptoms with little explanation as to why they occur. You may go for medical tests, but this card does not necessarily indicate a serious illness. So for most, it's a thing of like you're just going through a process. Your body is adjusting to something and you're okay. But again, if you're very concerned, make an appointment to see your doctor. Okay? Just to alleviate that fear. This card also signifies a good time to get rid of your clutter. Living a cleaner life, focusing on details, and doing what needs to be done are now your focus. Other concerns would be your daily routine, 9 to 5 responsibilities, and mundane goings on that may need your attention. Getting organized will enable you to get to where you're going. So it's a time for organization. Your soul is wanting you to like really push forward. This card also suggests you need to be more reliable in your approach. Problems won't go away. You must work and they must be addressed. Are you avoiding? Rude. Michael goes, aren't you? What am I avoiding? I have dragged my feet on certain things, but I'm in compliance. He says, I'm just reminding you. Okay. Virgo is a gentle sign, typically mild in nature, with a fondness for small animals as well as feelings towards the plant world. Being at one with nature, noticing the important details, being fully present in your work, drawing upon the wisdom of the critical mind, as well as attention to health and diet, are all subjects associated with this card. So, those are things that you might need to, maybe not all of it, but some of those things might have stuck out to you. And maybe that's something your soul wants you to begin addressing at this point. Okay. All right, guys, I got to get going. I got to go eat because I'm starting to get hangry, grumpy, growly. Give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live